I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. We cover here the posts that Donald Trump makes to show you how deranged, dangerous, bizarre, out of touch, disqualifying he and the MAGA Republicans are. I think it's vital. I don't think we can close our eyes, cover our ears, and not simply understand the reality of what's taking place. I don't want to normalize that behavior. What we've added to these videos is we compare them to what President Joe Biden is saying and doing at the exact same time, so you can compare and contrast. That this is a historic edition of comparing and contrasting because Donald Trump was indicted in Washington, D.C. in connection with trying to overthrow our democracy. Trump was indicted, of course, by Special Counsel Jack Smith. We've made a lot of videos about that indictment, so we're not going to rehash that here. But what I do want to show you is Donald Trump's post, and let's compare him to what President Joe Biden is saying. Here's what Trump said earlier in the day. He said, "I hear that deranged Jack Smith, in order to interfere with the presidential election of 2024, will be putting out yet another fake indictment of your favorite president, me, at 5 p.m. Why didn't they do this 2.5 years ago? Why did they wait so long? Because they wanted to put it right in the middle of my campaign, prosecutorial misconduct. No, you wanted to campaign so that you could whine and complain in the middle of it that you're being treated so unfairly. You did the crimes and you're not above the law." Okay, well, let's compare that to what President Biden was saying at the exact same time. President Biden said, "Supporting our veterans has been a central focus of my administration since day one, from job training, housing, and debt-free VA care to health care services for women veterans and support for LGBTQ plus veterans." That's what Biden's talking about. Here's another Biden post. "For the millions of veterans who have been exposed to harmful toxins, the PACT Act means quicker access to health care services and benefits that could be the difference between life and death. Head to va.gov/PACT to learn more." Okay, and what is Donald Trump posting? He goes, "Also, why are they putting out another fake indictment the day after crooked Joe Biden scandal? One of the biggest in American history broke out in the halls of Congress. A nation in decline." One of the biggest scandals broke out in Congress. Again, it's just lie after lie, Russian-style propaganda. What is Donald Trump even talking about? You're talking about Hunter Biden's business partner, Devin Archer, who did not say anything that you said he was going to say. All Devin Archer said is, yeah, Hunter Biden would call his dad and Hunter Biden would put his dad on speakerphone occasionally. Absolutely no evidence that Joe Biden engaged in anything criminal. Like you engage in things criminal, Donald Trump, when your son-in-law and daughter make $600 million in the White House from outside interests, or when your son-in-law then gets paid $2 billion by the Saudi sovereign wealth fund, who then hold golf tournaments on your golf resorts, or that you have secret Chinese bank accounts. How about that right there? Oh, and by the way, let me show this clip. This is of Democratic Congress member Dan Goldman, who left the hearing. Didn't exactly sound like one of the biggest scandals of American history broke out. The witness, who's a convicted felon, didn't say anything that the MAGA Republicans claimed he was going to say. Those MAGA Republicans are awfully quiet on that. Here, play this clip of Democratic Congress member Dan Goldman.
Like most of the time, now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello. And he would, talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, what's going on your end. The witness was very, very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any business dealings or transactions. They were purely what he called casual conversations.
And just so you all can see like how ridiculous this is, when you had Jim Jordan and James Comer on the Hannity show right after supposedly the biggest scandal broke out in the halls of Congress, and Hannity asked them, "So do you have the evidence? Like, do you have it?" And they responded, "I hope so. There's smoke." Here, play this clip.
No, do you believe that this is now officially the Joe Biden bribery allegation? And do you believe that you will be able to prove that? Jim Comer.
I sure hope so. And I do believe that there's a lot of smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. We just heard testimony today that Joe Biden had lied to the American people.
Okay, folks, I don't care what political party you're from. That's not evidence-based right there, okay? I hope so. We're just going to go with innuendo. We're going to do that. We're not going to actually deal with evidence. We'll have Chinese spies and we'll have Russian oligarchs and we'll make up fake audio recordings that don't exist and we'll just spread a new one every day. There's been week after week after week after week of a fake conspiracy where MAGA Republicans say evidence exists that doesn't. Anyway, I digress. Let me show you more Trump posts. As you're scrolling through it, this is the ad that pops up. This is Pro-Trump Team 2024. This is what they're selling. Unvaccinated, conservative, meat-eating, gun owner. How else can I offend you today? It's not offending me. You're just weird. If you wear this shirt objectively, this is weird behavior. Okay, you're bragging about being unvaccinated? Oh, that's a brag? Meat eating? Okay, who cares? They're just like constant victims. All right, but let's see what President Joe Biden is posting. Some say America used to be the largest manufacturer in the world, but now we can't compete. I've never believed it. We led the world in manufacturing, and we're doing again with my Investing in America agenda. Here's another one. Investment in American manufacturing facilities contributed more to our economy's growth than it has in 40 years. And it's an image that's posted at Bidenomics. Factory construction contributes most to growth in 40 years. And it talks about how real private fixed investment in manufacturing structures, contribution to annualized real GDP growth, like real things, like actual data. And then Donald Trump gets indicted. And this is what Trump's post. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's just obnoxious and horrific, but I'll read some of it to you. Nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter and the continued pathetic attempt by Biden crime family and weaponized DOJ to go after me. Blah, 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 blah. Why did they wait 2.5 years? Blah, blah, blah. Crooked Joe Biden. Blah, blah, blah. But here's where it gets sick and disturbing. This is what Trump says. The lawlessness of these persecutions of President Trump and his supporters is reminiscent of Nazi Germany in the 1930s, the former Soviet Union, and other authoritarian dictatorial regimes. President Trump has always followed the law and the Constitution with advice from many highly accomplished lawyers. So just listen to that. One, he's throwing the lawyers under the bus, right? He's basically saying it's the lawyers' fault for my indictment, that I've relied on their advice. And then he compares the fact that he's been indicted to the Holocaust. To the Holocaust. This is a sick and disgusting criminal. There's no other way of saying it. That's what the data reflects. A sick and disgusting traitor criminal. And we've just got to call it out. We can't be like, oh, well, here's a statement but no. Here on the MeidasTouch Network, we call it out. We say what it is. And that is what it is. And then his other post. Why didn't they bring this ridiculous case 2.5 years ago? They wanted it right in the middle of my campaign. That's why. No. You wanted your campaign. You knew all the crimes you committed. Why? Well, we now know that you're using your campaign and your PAC to pay $40 million in legal defense bills in the past 6 months. $56 million total. Melania got $108,000. Jason Miller's child support lawyer got money. Giuliani's electronic discovery vendor got money. Alina Habba got $1.5 million. Joe Tacopina got $1.7 million. The Banal law firm, that second-year associate who's like the worst lawyer ever, he got like $1.1 million. That's what this is about. Grift. That's what this is about. Trying to cover up your criminal conduct. I think it's so critical we just show you. What Trump's saying, here's what Biden's saying. Which America do you want to live in? Someone actually focused on the issues that matter to the American people, or Donald Trump? Donald Trump. That's what you want? Wah. Just crying like a freaking baby, whining. Wah, 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 me, wah, me, wah. That's what it's like. It is disgusting behavior. and we're going to call it out. There's only one major political party today that actually focuses on our democracy and evidence and compassion and intelligence, and that's the Democratic Party. If that changes, I'll change. But that's where it's at right now. It's just that simple. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast, and have a great day.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.